Welcome everyone to the First Waves show, which is for all of you who would like to further boost your career development and continuously improve day after day. If you want to bring even more value for your company, bet on yourself, and have a great career in the corporate world, then this podcast is for you. In case you're listening to this while driving, cooking, cleaning the house, commuting, walking, jogging, or anywhere else where you cannot take notes while listening, then no worries. I included a free download with 13 learning nuggets and simple action points. You can choose 1 to 2 points from the list, implement them, and see if you notice a difference. You will find a link to this freebie in the show notes. This podcast is sponsored by Wave Business Excellence Footprint, an environmentally friendly online training company that cares about your personal development. Today, I'm thrilled to present you an amazing guest from the city of Munich in Bavaria, Germany. Her name is Steffi. She is passionate about her job and had an incredible career development at Telefonica, where she continuously climbed the corporate ladder in a very short time. She worked as a marketing and event manager for business development in Germany, Netherlands, and Spain. What makes her profile so interesting is that she also is a certified psychotherapist and a certified Lean Six Sigma black belt. Further, she worked as head of marketing and events at Wave Business Excellence Footprint. Today, she is global partner marketing at a mid-sized company in Germany. We had an amazing conversation and spoke about how your success in the company is linked to your subconscious mind. One of the tools she used to advance in her career was to continuously reprogram her mindset. We spoke about the 3L method and much more. I'm happy to introduce you to Steffi. Hello, Steffi, and welcome to the podcast. It's so great to have you here with us.
Thank you, Juan. Thank you so much for the invitation. It's really a pleasure being here with you. Thank you.
So one of the first things that I'm always happy to hear about from my guests is, what are you passionate about? And especially when it comes to business, what would you say is what fires you up?
So look, the only thing that I'm really passionate about when it comes to business is the people. Interacting with people, talking to people, exchanging ideas, getting inspired by people from different cultures, different backgrounds. That's the thing that most inspires me in the business. Business is very interesting, but for me, business is not about money. It's more about people. It's always about people.
So do you think if it would not be marketing, the area that you would have started with, you would have been in a different area of the business, maybe accounting or in sales or anywhere else? So you think you would have just as much as fun as you're having today in marketing area?
That's a very good question. I think that in sales, I might have lots of fun too. Accounting, I do not see myself so much. But at the end, I think if the people are right and the team is right and everybody is having fun in what they're doing, I think that whatever I'm doing, it will be good.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I think in finance and accounting, they probably deal more with numbers than with people. Yeah, and you usually see a lot of the same people every day in accounting. And I think in sales, you have more opportunities to get to know more clients and to work with different departments within the company. Yeah, so that there's definitely a lot of correlation or overlaps between sales and marketing.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah.
And how did you actually get into marketing? Did you already know that when you were in school that you said, I want to become a marketer?
Not at all. Not at all. I had no idea about what was marketing at the moment. So when I was in my teens, I decided that life is very short. I don't know why. And I said that whatever I will do following my heart, the voice of my heart. So when I was in school, I had it very clear that I never wanted to study, which I did study at the end. And I was just listening to my heart. And the first step of my life was, after school, my heart said, I want to dance. So I became a professional dancer. I did some dance school education, and I wanted to make people happy, and dancing was for me the best way to get happy. So I wanted to become a dance teacher. So I did that, and I got injured very badly, so I couldn't become the teacher I wanted to be. But I had a second dream, as big as the dancing dream, and that was to go to Spain and to learn Spanish. So I went to Spain and I packed my stuff and I told my parents I would be for 3 months in Spain. And once I arrived, I liked it so much that I decided that I wanted to study there. I did not speak anything. I didn't speak a word in Spanish. So I started with Spanish classes. And after 3 months, I decided that I would like to study in Spain because my heart somehow was telling me that I wanted to study there. And after 6 months, I took the exam that I needed to study in Spain. I passed the exam and I studied in Spain. So my parents were very sad because I told them I would be back in 3 months, but at the end it was 4 years that I stayed in Spain. So, and then I didn't really know what to study, but my heart told me, well, you like tourism, you like traveling, you like enjoying your life, so just study tourism. So I studied tourism. I had no idea what it was about, and it was about economics, 90%. And I had one subject that was marketing. And I had such an amazing teacher who inspired me so much that was my absolute favorite subject. And that was when I discovered that marketing is 100% what I'm interested in.
Wow, that's amazing. Especially coming from my side to hear about marketing, because at the beginning I thought marketing was evil and it was only trying to market stuff that nobody needs. But now after working with you for a while and you're teaching me all about marketing, I found out that it's not that. It's just the opposite. Yeah, because everybody and every company has potential to bring great services and great products out to the market. Yeah. And marketing is the channel that is actually showing everybody, hey, look, this exists out there.
What you're doing. And you were asking me before about sales, and sales wouldn't exist without marketing, and marketing wouldn't exist without sales. So these are two departments that have to work very, very, very closely together. They have to know each other and they have to know their pains. Otherwise, marketing is not working and sales won't work either.
Yeah, that's right. And perhaps for the listeners who are not in marketing or in sales, what would be, from your perspective, the definition and the differentiation between those two?
So marketing is the enabler for sales. So in marketing, we create all the materials you need in order to sell your product. So in marketing, we create a website, we do some social media announcements, we go to events, we do some reference cases. So we produce the material that the sales guys need in order to be successful in selling the product of the company.
Great. Very good. I haven't heard it in that version before.
That's for me the definition of marketing, why we exist.
Yeah. And for you, when you started then in marketing, I've seen in your CV that you advanced pretty quickly in the company. So what do you say was your success? What were the things that you did differently to other people that made you, I would say, so rapidly come to up the career ladder in your departments?
So I think, as I told you before, when I was in my teens, I decided that my life was too short, that I would only live everything that my heart was telling me. That is something that I keep doing. So whatever my heart tells me, I'm doing. That means that when I'm working, I do whatever I do with a lot of passion, with love, with dedication. And I think that that's the only value that makes you successful, because people see that you are doing it because you really like doing it. And I think if you do everything with your heart and with a lot of passion and because you really feel it, whatever you do, you will be successful. I think personally I could be a car mechanic, but doing it with my heart, it would be very, very good. And that's what I experienced in my work, that I started as a working student and then in 3 years I became a deputy director. But I always, whatever I did was with so much heart and passion and dedication that I think that's the key of success.
Do you think that each person, when we are brought to this world, that we are already predefined with the specific things that we like, that lights us up? Do you think that maybe certain people are meant to be mechanics, others are meant to be doing maybe surfboards, others are in marketing, others are in other jobs. Do you think that everybody is somehow already pre-designed for specific things?
Yes and no. Yes, I think there are people who know exactly they want to become a doctor, they want to become a psychologist or a car mechanic. But I think there are other people where you put them in whatever place and whatever they will do, they will be successful. They will be in a supermarket, they will be successful. They will be cleaning, they will be successful.
Yeah. Those are those entrepreneurs, yeah, that they see it not as a topic, a specific thing, but they see it more as how do I make the best out of that kind of business?
It's the mindset, I think.
Yeah.
So, for example, I have a friend and she was my cleaning lady, actually. And she was so good in what she was doing, the cleaning. And she became an entrepreneur. She built her own business. And now she has 10 employees, all learning from her how to clean, and she's very, very successful. So I think it really doesn't matter what you're doing. It's just your mindset, your brain, your dedication, how you're doing it.
Correct. And definitely, if you're going to do something, you just really need to feel that's something that you want to do. Because if you do not want to do it...
What your heart is telling you.
Exactly.
That's what I always say.
So if you're going every day, getting out of bed and thinking, okay, I got to go to this job that I don't like,
that doesn't work.
Going to drain you.
It's never going to work. Not for you, not for anybody else.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Perfect. So that was actually one of the things that sometimes I was thinking about. Is it being in the right place at the right time to have I would say, the chance and the opportunity to advance in a company, or is it more the mindset? And in this case, you did answer that question that it's probably a combination of that, but mindset is one of them.
Yeah. Yes. So I think it is a combination, but I do think that mindset is an 80 or 90% of it. So maybe it's 10, 20% of luck, being lucky, being in this situation. But I think with the wrong mindset, you would never be in the situation that you were lucky. So I personally think that it's all about mindset, but I would take it a step further. So I think it's more the unconsciousness. So there's, for example, a very interesting book that's called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind from Joseph Murphy. And that book really inspired me a lot. So I do think that everything that's in your mindset comes from your unconsciousness. And first you have to be very clear with what you have programmed your subconsciousness to achieve your goals. Because one thing is that I affirmate every day, I want this, I want to achieve that goal. But if your consciousness is not aware of what you really want to achieve, and on the other side, you are thinking that you're worthless, that you shouldn't earn money because it's a bad habit or whatever, you will never achieve your goals. Like, even if you have it in your brain, you need to have it in your subconsciousness first.
Yeah. And how do you create that, or how do you put it into your subconscious?
So I personally think that you can do it through hypnosis and meditation. So I would recommend to listen to some meditations, some hypnosis before you fall asleep, like with that topic that's important to you.
Okay.
And think about what you really want to achieve just the moment that you fall asleep. So I would recommend not to listen to the news or listen to any negative vibes before you fall asleep, just to try to think about something positive, to listen to a meditation about the topic that's important for you. And I think that's the way how to program your subconsciousness.
Perfect. Wow. And how was it for you? When did you start doing this? Was this at the beginning of your career when you started to do this technique?
I think I did it my whole life without knowing it. So I did do that all my life somehow. So personally, my childhood was not the easiest, but I learned very quickly that by having it in my head and programming myself, life became much easier. So I think I did it my whole life. But then once I became a psychotherapist, I learned more about hypnosis and meditation. And that was the moment when I became aware of the power that comes with hypnosis.
Wow, that's very, very interesting, especially that it's something that it's not so linked to what you studied in your university, because it's something, and that was maybe now a good start for my next question, because when you started in a company and you started advancing, you did not stop learning. You started to take part of other courses, like the one that you just mentioned. And how would you say, do all of these different courses, did they really help you to further boost to the person who you were then later in the company?
Absolutely. So look, I personally think that my life consists of 3L. So the 3L is, one stands for, the first L is love. Love whatever you're doing, what people you're around with, the work you're doing, you have to love. The second thing is learn. Learn constantly new things. Whatever you are interested in, you should be learning and never ever stop learning in your life. I think we are here to learn and to love. And the third L stands for love, because I really think it's very important to laugh with your friends, to have a good time and to really have fun and be happy. That's very, very important in life.
Very nice. I'll be putting this into the show notes, the book that you recommended, as well as the 3L. And that is very valuable to keep in mind. Yeah, I think a lot of people forget about doing their work joyfully and happily, and to laugh with their colleagues. Because if I think about the moments when you go to work and you just see it as work, and people always tell you, maybe when you were a kid, they say you got to work hard to be successful. But if you think I need to work hard to be successful, if you want to be successful, then you just, at the end of the day, you're working super, super hard. But why don't they just tell you when you're a child, you have to be joyful at your work, to be successful? And then you would have a different mindset when you grow up. You say, okay, now I finally studied. I'm going to get out of university, go to a company and work there. And I'm going to be joyful at what I do and to be then successful. Right. But a lot of people think you got to work hard to make yourself all the way up. And at the end, people then are in the burnout because they just work out, they're doing overtime, and they think that they're on the right path. But I think maybe that's where they need to take a look at your 3Ls.
I think I was very lucky when I was a child, because my dad, he just said, do whatever you want to do. Just do what you're happy to do. So, I mean, when you tell your parents after school that you want to dance, I think most of the parents would say, oh, what are you thinking about? Like, you will not make money. And that's true, But my dad, he would just say, do it. Do whatever it makes you happy. And I'm so grateful that I had that experience. And for everybody who learned from their parents, like, work is hard, you have to work hard to be successful, I really recommend to try to reprogram your subconscious mind. I really think it works, and I could just recommend that.
Is that where came the part, as I saw in your CV, that you also studied psychotherapy? Is that where you can apply some of that?
Yeah, definitely. So I think I studied psychotherapy because I was always interested in it. I always wanted to study psychology, but I found out that it was more about statistics than about therapy. And I always wanted to know more about the techniques. And I'm very grateful that I did it. I don't apply it at my work because I work in marketing, but the most valuable thing is that I understand myself better, I understand my family better. I'm much more patient than I was before. I do understand people when they're reacting differently. I don't take it personally anymore. So that opened my mindset a lot.
Perfect. Yeah, and a lot of things that we do in work, in our corporate environment, it just has to do with dealing with people.
Absolutely.
And if you 100%. Do not know how they think, how they react to certain situations, and I think if you study this kind of background, it's going to make it much easier for you.
Indeed. So I would recommend to never take it personally, whatever is happening. Just reflect on the person's situation, on their background, on their behaviors. I try to always step back and think about the whole picture and never ever take it personally.
Yeah, Correct. Very good. That's one of the things that it's always recommended to take that helicopter view. Yeah, to just go up and come out of the situation and just observe it as you are a third person looking at that situation, and you're like thinking to yourself, okay, that's interesting. What's happening right there?
Yeah.
What kind of emotions are happening? What's the situation? What are they saying to each other? And that actually takes you out of that, I would say, that pressure cooker, and you can then make better decisions.
Exactly. I agree.
If somebody would ask you for 2 things that you could advise them from your toolbox of psychotherapy, what would you tell them? We spoke about one of them, which is that helicopter view on how to see things and to calm yourself down. What would be other techniques that you have used and you could recommend to others when they go into a meeting and they're all the managers, they're the colleagues and peers, and it's a very, I would say, complicated and difficult meeting? What would you do or what would you think in order to feel more calm and to be more in control of what's happening?
So I always think that they're just regular people, like this, what we have, somebody only because he earns more and he has a different title, he's better than I am. That's not true. I mean, that everybody is just a person. And I try to think about the background of the person. So I try to think about the family situation, the children, if that person is happy in that moment or not. And sometimes you can really see when people are angry or selfish or whatever, you can see that sometimes they do have a problem, obviously, or not. And I always try to be understanding with all the people I'm dealing with. And on the other hand, but that doesn't come from psychotherapy. I'm always trying to be very grateful with everybody I'm meeting. So I'm very, I do get the impression always to be very thankful with the people I'm around and feel appreciation for the people. But what I said before already, I would really highly recommend meditation, hypnosis. There are so many interesting hypnosis in YouTube. So whatever problem you have or issue, just Google it in YouTube. And you will find something. Maybe you want to earn more money, you will find something. You want to be more successful, you will find it. You want to have more friends, a better relationship, whatever, you will find it. Just listen to it before you fall asleep, and I'm sure that it will be accomplished. Or another thing is if you're smoking or drinking, then there are some hypnosis as well that have helped many people.
That's quite interesting. I never heard that part of the hypnosis yet. Yeah, because the first things you were mentioning, it's definitely towards a direction of having lots of empathy towards people and really feeling what they're feeling, and which actually shows that to work on your emotional intelligence, it's very, very important in the corporate world, because it's not about who knows what and who has what position and who has the most knowledge. It has to do with people and how are you emotionally interacting with them.
Sarah, about the first thing I said. Yeah,
exactly.
I did not see that. Right.
And now my question to the hypnosis, could there be something maybe dangerous about hypnosis?
No, you're always in control. Nothing ever happens in hypnosis. No, It's not a drug. You're always in control. If you don't feel like doing it, just stop it. But there will never, ever happen anything with you in hypnosis.
Well, that's pretty good to know, because I just was thinking back to one of my events and one of the companies that I was working for, and it was the Christmas party, and they invited a magician, and he also would do hypnosis.
Okay.
And just with a click of his fingers, he could make people who would be working with us every day, and they would be just, let's say, stiff as a board, and he could then just put them in his arms, and they would not even bend. So that would be like, oh my gosh, how's that even possible? And there was another lady who was standing next to me, and I know her. She's very, I would say, very stable in her mindset, and she said that this guy will not be able to make any kind of hypnosis on her because she knows that he will not be able to do it. So when he came to her, he snapped his fingers and looked at her, but then he said, okay, with this person, I cannot do it. So he went to the next person and then did the hypnosis. So I was really surprised how that lady already knew from the beginning that this person will not be able to do the hypnosis on her. And I think that again links to what you said, because if you don't want a specific person to do certain things in the hypnosis, that it's not going to be allowed.
No, it's all about how open you are for it. Yeah, but if you ever want to stop, there's absolutely no problem. you're always conscious of what's happening.
So that means, I'm just now thinking, because one of the employees was walking as a dog in that event. Would that actually mean that this employee had nothing against it?
Yes, exactly. He was very open to the hypnosis.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like that show hypnosis very much because it just defeats the purpose of your happiness. You can really work a lot with hypnosis, but I don't agree very much with what's happening there on the stage.
After that event, there was quite a lot of talk in the company and with the Workers' Council, and the magician was not allowed to our next event. So we did something else for the next year's show.
Yeah. I think that hypnosis is very powerful, and it's a shame that becomes so, with a negative touch.
Yeah, exactly. And it should be used to, just like with money, you could use money to your advantage by doing good things, or you could do really bad things with money. And same thing with hypnosis. Yeah, you could do good or bad. Yeah.
Right, I agree.
It's like, And what I've also quite aware about, you are a certified Lean Six Sigma black belt.
Right.
Tell me more about that, and how did that help you in your current state where you are today?
So, as I said before, I really like learning a lot. So I do different kind of courses, etc. So what I really liked about the course was that now I understand better processes in a company. And where I was working before, we had so many green belts, black belts, and they were always so fancy and so important. And I never knew what they were doing. And now that I did my own certification as a black belt, I know what they are working with. That's so interesting for me whenever comes somebody to me and is telling me about all the fancy tools and what they are doing. I can really talk with them and I know what they are thinking about. So I do not apply it now very much, but if I would need to, I would know what tool to use to do it. And that makes me very happy.
Very good, very good. Especially what I've seen a lot in companies when people are doing projects or trying to improve certain areas of the business, and when they do a workshop, that people who attend the workshop, they're very nervous because they do not know what are they going to do, what kind of tools are they going to use, do I know how to reply to their questions or what's coming next. So all of this is for you then easy because you already know all the tools from Lean Six Sigma Black Belts. You know what the moderator is going to do in the workshop, and this is again going to help you make the workshop more productive.
Right, absolutely.
Very good. Have you seen so far a Lean Six Sigma project in the marketing area?
No. In the company I'm currently working in, it's a smaller company and I haven't seen it. I did see it in my previous company where we did have somebody, a green belt, who did a project and who were able to improve the processes of the marketing.
Perfect. Yeah, that's really good because many times people think that Lean Six Sigma, it's a process topic, meaning it's only for operations or only for a specific area of the business. But
Actually, my own project that I did was about a company, a very, very small company, and I was trying to improve the processes, and that worked out very well as well. So you can do it in very small companies, in medium-sized, and in big corporates.
Yeah, and different sectors as well.
Right.
Yeah, one of the examples that I have experienced in the marketing world is that what is the synchronization between what marketing is doing and what the salespeople and operations people and even the hotline is doing? Because we had situations where marketing would have a specific campaign, and once the campaign was released, then the hotline would say, why are you guys doing the campaign at the end of the month? Don't you know that we have a lot of calls at the end of the month and we don't have capacity to get more calls? And then on the other side, you got the salespeople say, how come you did not advise us about that campaign? Because we had no clue that this was going to happen. So therefore, that Six Sigma project was for the synchronization of how do we communicate within our company and that we synchronize at what time, which is the best date, and it's hopefully also agreed with all the other stakeholders who are involved.
Absolutely. So the company I'm working currently with is growing a lot, and we can see that now the communication is missing somehow. So I do think maybe a Lean Six Sigma project would be at one or the other step would be very convenient.
Yeah. One thing that is quite curious for me to know is how was your Lean Six Sigma Black Belt experience? How did you get your certification?
Yeah, I got my certification at WAVE. There were 3 things that were amazing. So the first thing, and that's the most important thing, was my coach. I really, really, really enjoyed the one-to-ones that I had. We had online lessons, and that was like the highlight of my week. And it was so nice to have an exchange with my coach. And that was the best, like the number one experience. The second one was actually the results of the project that I was doing. Because what I really liked that from the beginning, I had to choose a project, and I was working on that specific project. So before I learned all the theory, I had to choose already a project, and while we were learning the theory, I was applying that to my project. And then seeing the end result of the project was really mind-blowing for me. So that was really a very, very good experience. And the third one was, I think, the different tools that I learned, the different tools that I've learned through the course that are very beneficial for my current work as well.
Perfect. Excellent. Well, I'm really happy to hear about the first one, because in case my listeners do not know, I was the coach from Steffi. So thanks a lot for that. Yes, and definitely I can confirm that a lot of the feedback that we get from our students is mainly about how was the experience with their coach and how was this person able to guide them throughout their project. Because as you mentioned, each Six Sigma certification is always coming together with a project. And normally, as it's the first time that you are doing your project in the Six Sigma methodology, it's going to be almost impossible to just listen to a course and put everything into practice. Yeah, it's just like saying, I'm learning to drive a car. I'm going to read the book on the rules of the street and know all the signs. But then when I get into the car, I still do not know how to drive. So that's where the driving teacher is the one who's going to help you out and is going to say, okay, now you know the theory. Let's put the theory into practice. And we need to now see how that works. And the same applies for the certification. And that's where you did your project and you were applying all those tools that you learned into your life and day-to-day business and saw the improvements. So I'm really happy to hear about that. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, and we are again at the first point, no? The first question, what is important in business? And I said the people, and that was exactly what I've experienced at Wavens, the people.
When I search for coach, then I first need to see, does this person have a very good chemistry with the students? Yeah, because if that is not present, then it really doesn't matter if this coach knows all the statistical tools and the p-values and regression tests, because if he cannot get the message across and he cannot click with the students, then the job will not be completed.
Exactly.
Well, this is great having you on board on this podcast, and we really discussed quite a lot of topics. I did not even know we were going to go into so many other topics like hypnosis and emotional intelligence, Six Sigma, and all the other things that we covered that I will put into the show notes. So it was amazing to have you here as our guest. And thanks a lot, Steffi. Hope to have you someday soon again.
Thank you so much for the invitation. It was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much.
There are quite a few topics discussed on this show. Do not worry if you did not take notes or if you are not 100% sure what the actionable steps are. In the show notes, you will find a link to the downloadable fun sheet with learning nuggets and simple action points. You can choose the action points that best fit to your current situation, and then you could assess if it brought you value. Feel free to let me know how it went. Your feedback is important for my team and me, so we can continuously improve the value we provide you, as we want to give you the most from each episode. Please rate, subscribe, send in your comments, and share with those who you think could profit from this episode. It's very much appreciated, and I am grateful for your messages. I am also a work in progress, and I'm striving to do things better every day. If you are interested in finding out more about Lean Six Sigma process improvement training that will solve a burning issue in your business and impress your manager, I invite you to check the courses on our website, www.wave-bef.com. Thank you, take care, and see you soon in the next episode.